why David Otunga, Chris Masters, and the great Khali have had great careers and still do. Times change, gimmicks fall out of fashion, and if a superstar wants to stay relevant, they have to be willing to take a risk with a bold new look. For example, I used to look like this. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are the 10 best image changes in WWE history. Number 10, Husky Harris. This is just a worthless internet smarks opinion, but I think it's hard to get someone over as a fighter if their name literally has the word husky in it. Husky is the word mothers use instead of fat to comfort their bullied sons. Also bad ideas for wrestler names, Big Bone Barry and Just More to Love Johnson. Seriously though, a portly gentleman with a terrible Fred Durst beard and Dean Ambrose hair doesn't a good superstar make, so fans rejoice when Wyndham Rotunda went back to the Bayou to create this infinitely more sinister minister. Number 9, Dustin Rhodes. For the better part of the late 80s, early 90s, the original son of a plumber, Dustin Rhodes was a bland white beat babyface with his daddy's chin but little of his crowd support. There just wasn't anything to him beyond his surname. In 1995, Rhodes was fired from WCW for intentionally blading during a King of the Road match, which is when two wrestlers fight in a cage filled with hay on the back of a moving truck. Yes, this would turn out to be the best thing that ever happened to the second generation superstar, as he would emerge 6 months later in WWF, looking a little more bizarre. Number 8, Jamal. The late Eddie Fatu was a member of the Anoa'i family, which is the royal family of Samoan wrestling. His uncles were the Royal Samoans, and unlike The Rock, he's actually Roman Reigns' cousin. As such, he was welcomed with open arms into the WWE. His first major run was in 2002 as Jamal, part of the 3-Minute Warning, a duo of burly Samoan gangsters who wore shorts and bandanas and looked as 90s as they possibly could. Despite teaming with a hairstylist and beating up lesbians, the team didn't find great success, and Jamal was fired after being in a bar fight. When he eventually returned in 2006, it was with face tattoos and the savage and also a tiny bit racist gimmick of Umaga, who went on a monster run, remaining unpinned and unsubmitted for the rest of the year. Number 7, Sparky Plug. The days when Bob Holly was the rookie and having people mercilessly beat the piss out of him instead. When Holly was given his first proper go in the WWF in 1994, it was during the long, horrible period where every superstar had to have a job-based gimmick. The bin man, the hockey player, the creepy goddamn magician. Look, times were hard back then, you need to supplement your income somehow. Hardcore Holly's gimmick? He was a NASCAR driver called Sparky Plug Thurman. Daggum, it did not work out. They briefly tried to repackage him as Bombastic Bob as part of the new Midnight Express before he emerged from Al Snow's Job Squad with a new gimmick and a new attitude. The rookie, battering, serious fella, Hardcore Holly. Number 6, Bradshaw. John Layfield managed to fit not one, but 2 awesome image changes into his soon-to-be Hall of Fame career. Good job, you from all backstage accounts horrible person. He got his start in the WWF in 1995, debuting as Justin Hawk Bradshaw, a cowboy who was managed by Uncle Zebediah, aka Zeb Coulter, and he would brand people with JB, in ink, not searing his name into his opponent's flesh, the coward. It was bad, and after a brief sojourn as Blackjack Bradshaw, look at that moustache, he rebranded again to become simply Bradshaw, a member of beer-swilling roughnecks, the Acolyte. And if that wasn't a good enough image change, Bradshaw digivolved again to become JBL, a pompous Wall Street millionaire. Say what you want against John Layfield, the man's got range. Number 5, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. You may have heard of Triple H, he's Stephanie McMahon's trophy husband. Before the King of Kings would find fame as the Game, the cerebral assassin was the Connecticut Blue Bloods. Okay, actually, no, before that, let's talk about this. In WCW, he was called Terrorizing. They had 2 ways of spelling that as well. Here's one, and here's the other. Wrestling is stupid! So yeah, when Trips debuted in WWF, it was a pretty boy-faced idiot with it never happened. Number 5, greatness with the Ringmaster. Yep, blonde fuzz atop his head, a silly title belt that looks like the sort of huge bracelet your uncle wore in the 80s. Austin hated the Ringmaster gimmick and wanted a change. The list of personas they offered him: Otto Von Ruthless, Ice Dagger, Fang McFrost, and Chili McFreeze. Good God. Cooler heads prevailed, however, and within a month he shaved his head and began calling himself Stone Cold Steve Austin. And yes,
so 13 wrestlers in situations that scared the
While we're all quick to mourn the
okay?
death of kayfabe like a beloved pet, so even years after their business was exposed, many wrestlers found themselves in situations that scared the shit out of them. Far more scary than what you or I have to deal with, most certainly. The only thing we have to fear is being forced to sit through an Alicia Fox match. But there's been many a time a wrestler was put in a less than enviable spot. I'm Simon from What Culture, and this is 13 wrestlers in situations that scared the shit out of them. Number 13, when Ric Flair caused a riot. Back in the day, wrestling was real. Every match was presented and digested as as a shoot. This also meant some fans were nuts. In the mid-80s, Ric Flair was the NWA. So much more than just being the champion, he was the face of the promotion, travelling the world over to defend his gold. Unfortunately, the most passionate pro wrestling supporters were often found overseas, which also meant that they paid and expected their hometown heroes to win. If they didn't, well, they'll just tear down an entire arena. Okay, this is exactly what happened when the Nature Boy took on local man Jack Veneno in the Dominican Republic. 30,000 people turned up just to watch their hero train. 30,000! Him losing would be the equivalent of a national tragedy, or when Alicia Fox is booked to win a match. Realising the sensitivity of the situation, a finish was put in place where the bell was rung as Flair passed out from a sleeper. It was
I don't like how these people, how this guy is talking about Alicia Fox like that, because she's really good at what she does. I'll actually show you a couple of her matches in a minute. But I know we're getting out with Umaga, and now we're at the 13 situations. Yeah, well, we are getting a little out of hand. I got a little whatever. But what time is it? It's only 8:35, but I'm tired as hell. But yeah, Alicia Fox, What?